Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me again today. Hey, I'm in my hotel room still, as you can see, and there's going to be a little bit of a noise in the background because this isn't like the house. I'm not going to turn off the air conditioner here because it'll get hot in this room. But yeah, just been enjoying my time here in Albany. Just took it real easy yesterday. Went down to Whole Foods, got some food, fooled around at the mall, walked around a little bit, and then I came back here to the room and I pretty much just laid in the bed all afternoon and watched some Netflix and just lazed around the hotel. Felt good, so no guilt. Anyhow, as I talked about, I've been thinking about it a lot this weekend, and I wanted to go ahead and do that video I talked about, getting back to yoga, my plan. Guys, I do videos every day, and things are really going to amp up here when I get back from this trip. So if you haven't already done it, please hit that subscribe button. Anybody watching this video, go check the subscribe button, man. They're just tumbling. They're tumbling. YouTube usually has this thing fixed quicker, but anyhow, no big deal. Yeah, so anyhow, I want to get back to my yoga practice. It's kind of been bothering me, and I can be a procrastinator. Once you get out of something, once you get into a regular habit and it's established, it just kind of goes, it flows. But then once you get away, you can keep saying, well, I'll get back to it next week, or I'm going to get back to it soon. And I've been procrastinating and making excuses, and for this reason and for that reason. I really wish I had a teacher, but I don't. And that's what my mindfulness practice is teaching me, that I have to deal with what is and not what I want, because that's just reality. So when I get back from Woodstock, I have figured out a loose plan for myself. And it's going to be similar to what I did when I started my meditation practice about a little over a year and a half ago. I dabbled with meditation my whole life, and I would meditate for a while and then I'd stop. And usually I don't think I ever really had a regular practice up until now, up until the last year and a half. So I'm going to do similar with my yoga practice. When I first started my meditation practice, I didn't have any expectations. I didn't put any pressure on myself. I just simply decided I was going to show up every day and sit there every day, especially in the beginning. I didn't care if I sat there and meditated for 1 minute. Now, I was actually having meditated before. I think I started off doing about 8 to 10 minutes, but I had it set in my mind that if for some reason I got restless or I just was not going to stay there, I was still going to go and do that ritual, sit and meditate every day. And some days I said it never happened, but I was thinking ahead. I said, even if I don't meditate that day, I'm going to go through that motion, just to kind of start establishing that habit and go, and go sit. And even if I didn't meditate, or even if I just closed my eyes and focused on one breath, that would be it. So I started doing that day after day after day, and after a while it became regular. I don't want to say it became a habit. Habits seem to be bad, although I don't know why, unless it's a bad habit. But once you've gone about 21 days, 3 weeks, a month, you're kind of established in that. And then I got to the point where the rare day that I missed, that I just didn't like it. So I'm going to do the same with my yoga practice. And I might actually, since I wasn't as established in the yoga, I might actually, you never know. But I'm going to put my mat down every day. I'm going to find a place in the house. I've never practiced in my home where I am now. I'm going to put my mat down every day and go to my mat every day. Or maybe not, I might not do 7. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to jump into 7 days a week. But I'm going to establish my practice, and the days, I'm not going to just be willy-nilly like, okay, I guess I'll go today. In fact, probably for the first month, I will go at least 6 days a week, and I will say, okay, you're going to your mat every day. Haven't practiced probably now in over a year. Haven't practiced really hard in like almost 2 years. So in the beginning, I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to ease back into it. I'm going to treat my body gently. I'm going to, I've got, and this is really, I'm going to use this a lot on my path, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot. I've belonged to a thriving plant-based website, which is Banana Blondie, Michelle and Jay. They're not raw, they're vegan, they're plant-based, love them. But anyhow, Banana Blondie, Michelle, if you've never seen her yoga, she's amazing. She's got a lot of stuff on YouTube. I think it's Banana Blondie 108. But, you know, like I say, I've been on this site. I've been a member of this site for years, and she must have, and I haven't even been to the site in a while, she must have over 100 full yoga classes on there. She's got them broken down. She's got shorter sequences. She's got longer sequences. She's got specialized sequences for different things. So, well, let me take one step back real quick. I think probably for like the first week, 10 days, it's just going to kind of be free flow. It may just be sun salutation to start opening the body up again. Opening the body up again. Then I'm going to start using her classes. I don't know if I'll find one class that I think is good, you know, is good for me where I am, where I'm starting over, or if I'll just move around and do some different classes. But I'm just going to use those classes. I'm going to set them up and do them. I've got Kino McGregor's app on my computer. Haven't even opened that in 2 years. The full primary series, and it's a very good program. There's almost three and a half hours of video on there, and she goes through it very thoroughly, very thoroughly. She is Ashtanga. That is the yoga. I've only been around it a few times. I've only been around people. My teacher was an Ashtangi, but she didn't teach it because there's a lineage there. Not just anybody can go out and teach Ashtanga yoga. But that primary series, I really like that primary series, and that is where I'm trying to go. I don't know what the next few years are going to be. You know, it's like I'm kind of in a, I'm not in temporary, but I'm kind of in a sort of limbo. But you know, because my mom's in the nursing home, she's 88, so she's not, unfortunately, she's not going to be around a whole lot more years. I would like to, you know, work on this practice, and then eventually when I leave and go on to the next place, be ready and go to a place that I could practice Ashtanga on a regular basis. But also I'm not getting any younger either, so I really want to get this started. So another aspect to this whole my yoga plan is I'm going to do my thing on my own for a while, and then I'm going to reach out. I've reached out a couple of times to my old teacher in Costa Rica and see if she can give me some suggestions on how to further my practice being by myself. But I'm going to start talking to her, open up a dialogue, and like I've mentioned before, I want to take some people down for yoga as well as the raw food, or just eating, you know, just eating fruit, plant-based. And I would like to, if it's possible, I don't know if it's going to be possible with everything else I've got going on, but I would like to possibly even be able to do a retreat sometime in 2019. Would be just kind of, you know, a loose retreat, not one of those fancy things where every minute was planned out and you were doing this or that, but it will be very beneficial, it will be very fun, and it will be with one of an amazing teacher. But yeah, those are just a few of my plans. I know I'm kind of scattered, jumping around a little bit here, but I'm really ready to get back to yoga. One of the things I miss the most, and then I'm going to read a little something for you, is I love my meditation. There was something about that connection. It was like, and it was almost like those moments when you get, you know, when you're just really in it, in the meditation, you know, when you're really present, you're really aware. When you can coordinate the movement of the yoga with the breathing, and it just becomes a flow, there's nothing more beautiful than that. And I've only got glimpses here and there, and you know, a class here where I just was like, wow, where did that class go? You were focused on your breathing with the movement of the asana, and it was just a great thing. So I want to do a little reading from you. This is from Krishnamacharya, T. Krishnamacharya, who is probably, go look that name up. He's probably the reason people in the West practice yoga. He revitalized yoga. He was a great healer. He lived to be 101 years old. Just an amazing, amazing man. And I want to read to you the part, this, I forget which book of his I have, but this is on asana. The mind is more supple than the body. We can see people around us, hear them speak, and feel their touch when we shake hands. But we cannot see their minds. We can only infer what goes on in their minds from their speech, appearance, expressions, and gestures. Unlike the physical body, the mind has no form. It exists as our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. The body is concrete and knowable. Though linked to the body, the mind is formless, invisible, and seemingly unknowable at times, not just to others, but often to ourselves. We are frequently heedless of the clutter of thoughts and feelings that crowd our minds from one moment to the next. Of the 1,000 thoughts that flit through our minds every hour, we are aware only of some. We act on a few, and we drift with the rest. Many find it difficult to discipline the unhealthy longings of the body. To eat less or exercise more, for instance, requires a feat of will. And even for those of strong will and consistent discipline, mastering the mind is a harder quest by far. The goal of classical yoga is to discipline this scattered mind, to turn it from wayward rambling to focused concentration. And this is getting into something I want the whole package, not just the exercise focusing. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, along with its traditional commentaries, explains the practice of meditation and the psychology of yoga in detail. The yoga of Patanjali is sometimes called Raja, King Yoga. It is the king or highest among the practices of yoga, the royal path. The title is well deserved. The yoga described by Patanjali is a systematic method for making the transition from the distracted mind that rules our decisions to a steady and peaceful mind that awaits our command. As a logical necessity and to be deemed classical or traditional, any method of yoga must be concordant with the greater path described by Patanjali. Hatha Yoga. The branch of yoga that explains and emphasizes physical practices like asanas has traditionally been known as Hatha Yoga. Hatha means by effort or force. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, asanas are mentioned but not described in much detail. These physical practices were intended to help focus the mind, not just exercise the body. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, a widely known classical text on Hatha Yoga, authored by the yogi Svatmarama in the 15th century, states at the outset, Yogi Svatmarama, having saluted his Lord and Guru, teaches the knowledge of Hatha Yoga solely for the attainment of Raja Yoga. To those who wander in the darkness of conflicting doctrines, being ignorant of Raja Yoga, the most compassionate Svatmarama yogi offers the light of knowledge of Hatha. One compelling reason to practice Hatha Yoga, particularly asana and pranayama, is to promote good health and ward off disease. After all, we are unlikely to tame our wandering minds if we are troubled by ill health. Patanjali writes that among the first obstacles a practitioner should overcome is disease of the body. The physical practices of Hatha Yoga can be done relatively easy, which has opened the door to yoga for many people. There is no doubt that Hatha Yoga is an important reason for the increasing popularity of the ancient science of yoga in the modern world. Krishnamacharya was not a teacher of just Hatha Yoga. He was one of the foremost authorities in the field of yoga as a whole and in several other fields of Vedic studies. But in Hatha Yoga, Krishnamacharya was unique. He is recognized by many as the greatest authority on Hatha Yoga, both in knowledge and in practice in the last century. So that's kind of my plan, and I'm going to be sharing that here as well, and that's going to become a big part of my life, just how the meditation practice has. So I hope you guys will join along, and as I develop this thing and when I start taking some people on trips, I hope you will join. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this message. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace. Or maybe not tomorrow. I'm traveling, so I'll see you when I see you. Love you guys.